What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the box office for this weekend, which saw Karate Kid Legends open and Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible both hold. And Lilo and Stitch, okay, let's talk about Lilo and Stitch first. It had a $63 million second weekend, and that's pretty good. I think it dropped about 57% in the second weekend, which is not bad. I would have liked to have seen that drop somewhere, in like the 52, 53 range. But this is fine. It's a fine drop. I mean, it did open very high, so it's very in the middle. It's very in the middle. There's not really much to talk about with Lilo and Stitch, other than the fact that it also crossed $600 million globally, which is pretty great. It's on its way to $1 billion, and yes, if you're wondering, it's going to get to $1 billion. It's already on track to do about $1.15 billion now. So it's going to go well over $1 billion, and it'll be the first $1 billion film of the year. Which is good because we don't have one yet. Because Minecraft almost got to $1 billion. Almost got to $1 billion. It's not going to get there. Minecraft's going to end its run somewhere in the $970 million range probably. We'll see if it even gets there. But yeah, it's unfortunate for Minecraft. It got so close. But let's talk about Mission Impossible now. Mission Impossible, there's more to talk about because Mission Impossible did about $27 million, and, it also dropped about 57%. Now, because Karate Kid Legends wasn't really Mission Impossible's audience, it should have held better. I think it should have held better. There's no excuse this time. Like with Dead Reckoning, it dropped like 63 or 65% in its second weekend because of Barbenheimer. But this one has no excuse. It has all the IMAX screens. It has everything it needs to succeed, and it still ended up dropping a lot lower. Me and my dad have a review on it. We really liked the film. We really liked it. It is not received as well, I think, as some of the other films have been. So it is not doing as well, but it's dropping more. But it also has made more. It's also made more than Dead Reckoning. It's made more than Fallout. It's the highest grossing Mission Impossible movie on the weekends and stuff. So it's doing well for a Mission Impossible movie. It's doing well in general. But the real issue is the budget. This film will never make any kind of money theatrically. It's not going to break even. It is not going to make any money for the studio because the budget is over $400 million. Which means it ideally needs to break like $1 billion just to break even. It's not going to get to $1 billion. No Mission Impossible film has. This will probably end its run in like about around $600 million. Hopefully it can get to over $600 million. That would be, I think that they would consider that a win. But no Mission Impossible movies ever come close to $1 billion, and this one definitely won't. But let's talk about Karate Kid Legends now. This one, this did not open very well at all. The projections, I was even thinking this thing could do 30, and it ended up doing 21. So this thing did not do well at all, and it has a lot to do with the reviews not being very good for it, the word of mouth not being great, and Lilo and Stitch is still in theaters and did $63 million, and Lilo and Stitch and Karate Kid Legends, I think, have similar audiences in that family film, and so I think that it really hurt the film. I enjoyed Karate Kid Legends. I thought it was a good film. My dad did not. He said it was not a very good film. My sister liked it. My mom liked it. It's a little bit mixed, I can see why people don't like it. It's very fast-paced. I can see why people wouldn't enjoy it as much, but I had a good time with it. And I would recommend, if you're a Karate Kid fan, you go see it. But box office-wise, it's not doing very well. So if we head over to the top 10 here, we can see Lilo and Stitch, well, the actual numbers have come out. It's about 62 million now, so it went down $1 million. And that's a drop of 58%. That film's up to $278 million domestically and over $600 million globally. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning at number 2 with $27.2 million, down 57%. It's up to $122 million domestically and up over $320 million globally. Or 350, I believe. Yeah, 350 million globally. Number 3, we have Karate Kid Legends with $21 million on its opening weekend. Again, not great at all for it. Number 4, we have Final Destination Bloodlines, which held very well, only dropping 44% and making $11 million. That film's up to $111 million domestically. It is doing really, really well. At number 5, we have Bring Her Back, which opened to $7 million. Now, this one's interesting because the other film, the creators of Bring Her Back, had made another film that me and my dad recently just watched, and it's a very interesting film. I think it's a pretty good film. It's called Talk to Me. And that film is similar horror genre, and that film opened a couple years ago to $10.4 million. So that one opened higher than this one. Now we'll see what kind of legs we have for Bring Her Back, because from what I've heard, it's a really good film. A lot of you are talking about how great it is. And me and my dad are going to be going to see that soon, so we probably will do a review for it. And so we'll see. But I've heard a lot of great things coming from you guys when you talk about Bring Her Back. So, but I think it just overall goes to show the A24 name, the studio of A24, is not as necessary to go see it as they used to be. They've had a lot of really bad films come out recently, and it's just brought down their audience for sure. So at number 6 we have Sinners with $5.2 million. It just continues to make money. It dropped 39%. That film's up to $267 million domestically on its 7th weekend. It's still number 6, which is just insane. It has grossed more domestically than the next film, which is Thunderbolts. The fact that Sinners is making more than Thunderbolts is crazy. It's making more than Thunderbolts this weekend. I mean, you know, Sinners came out 2 weekends before Thunderbolts, and Sinners is ahead of Thunderbolts this weekend. So that just goes to show the legs on Sinners and the lack of audience there for Thunderbolts, which did $4.7 million, down 51%. That film's up to $181 million, and it is definitely going to lose money for Marvel. At number 8, we have Friendship, which dropped 51%, which made $2.5 million. That film's up to $12 million. The Last Rodeo, in its 2nd weekend, dropped 60%. It made $2.1 million. It's up to $10 million. And then the J-Hope Tour, whatever that is, was at number 10 with a little under $1 million. All right, so that is your top 10. Let's talk about next weekend. We have Ballerina, the John Wick spin-off movie that apparently John Wick is in a lot of the film. Now, here's what's really interesting about the whole Ballerina situation. The reviews are going to play a big factor in how many people go to see this thing and how well it does. But the review is a very interesting situation because there was stuff that had come out essentially with Lionsgate, basically telling critics who had seen the movie in advance, if you want to say something good about the film, you can say it early. If you have something negative to say, you can't say the stuff negative until a day before it comes out. So they're holding back all the negative stuff that anybody would say until the day before, so that all the positive stuff is out right now. And honestly, I think that this is one of those things that is probably happening a lot more often than people think. I think that Disney does it. I think Universal does it. I think Warner Bros. I think every single studio in Hollywood does this. They purposefully hold back the negative reviews to try and maximize the positivity or going around the film. And I think that they all do it. I don't think it's a secret because, I mean, all the social reactions, the first reactions are always like super positive and whatever, and then the reviews are a lot more, they're not necessarily always negative, but they're more swayed negative than the social reactions are always like, oh my gosh, this is the best film of all time, and you're like, it's not. It's not the best film of all time. And so that's kind of what you're getting with this a little bit, but it's now out in the open and everybody sees it and everybody knows it, and so there it is. But yeah, so it's going to really, but the fact that they're doing it and the fact that it kind of came out like this makes me wonder if this film is going to be well received. I don't know how well received this thing's going to be because of that. So I'm a little bit worried about that. But I would say that this film probably, I mean, the John Wick movies historically open very well. I think the last one opened in the $70 million range. That's very good for an R-rated film like that. Spin-offs and stuff like that don't make near as much as the actual, core main story does usually. So I would say this thing probably opens to about 38.5 million. That's what I'll say, 38.5 million. I don't know if it gets to 40. I think it could get to 40 if the word of mouth is hopefully better than what it seems to be. But that's what I think it could do, kind of in the middle there. So yeah, if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, comment down below what you guys think of the whole ballerina situation and the review embargo and all that, and I will see you guys next time.